Looks like I'm live. Good morning. Good morning. The holdup. The holdup of what? Good morning, Nancy. Let's go. I just dropped little man off at school. All these parents who have to get right to the door to drop their kids off. It's like your kid's a teenager. They don't need you. Like I drop mine off to where he walks a little bit. Like not a ton. He doesn't want me right there. Teenagers get embarrassed of their parents. And these helicopter parents are ridiculous. Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, Voss. Hellhound. Good morning. Um, yeah, I don't find helicopter parenting to be a good parenting thing. Channel meme. Good morning. Um, yeah, they. You should get your kids comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm watching the road. I can look down every once in a while, but I'm watching the road. Plus, the good thing is I don't take the main roads. I was gonna swing by the grocery store with y'all on here. Channel meme. Good morning. But I didn't bring my wallet, so I gotta go back to the house. And I'm about to turn into the sun, so I'm gonna need my sunglasses. I wear my sunglasses at night, so I can. Right, right. Elementary and middle school. Yep. And but this is kids in high school, and they all have to like. There's like this parking lot where you turn. I don't turn into that parking lot. I just go up to. There's like a gate that leads to their parking lot. I just drop them off there. Like I don't even pull into the school. Like he can walk that far. If he can't, we got a bigger problem. There was something he was. My son was trying to do, and he was like, "Well, I don't know how to do this." I'm like, "It literally says there's instructions. Like you need to figure this out. I'm not going to always be there. And you're 15 now. You got to figure this stuff out. And you'd much rather figure it out with me nearby where you can ask questions than where I'm not around." Absolutely, they do. Because if not, and we experienced this. My ex tried to do this with our son, and her mom did it with uh, her sister. Created a level of codependency. Uh, where her mom did everything for her sister. So her sister was deathly afraid to do anything on her own. You gotta you you gotta let them go at some point. When they do something on their own, you give them when they're at a certain age, you give them some praise. And when they learn how to do something that you don't know, you definitely give them praise. You gotta, they gotta. It's like walking. They're gonna fall, but they gotta eventually learn to be on their own 2 feet. I've told him if he gets a girlfriend, I will provide him some. Um, he currently does not have a girlfriend, so I don't think I have to worry yet. But he is growing up. Um, like I a couple of years ago, I started hitting through him good personal hygiene, and he hadn't hit puberty yet. And I was like, hey, you want to get in the habit of using deodorant because very quickly here you're going to get into puberty and your body's going to start to stink and you're not going to notice it. And so I got him, a couple personal hygiene things. I also told him, hey, girls don't want to kiss a guy with bad teeth, so make sure you're taking good care of your teeth. And he takes great care of his teeth. I'll say that much. He had a retainer for a while and took really good care of it. He had braces for a while, did well with those. Um, uh, so yeah, um, who's single? Are you talking about me? But yeah, yes, I am single, Abby. Um, Single dad. But yeah, I taught him, hey, good hygiene, and kind of just kept saying that stuff. And he went to a dance this year. He's like, Dad, because I was asking about it. I was like, how's the dance? He's like, Dad, there was someone there who had really bad BO. And I was like, I said, see, I told you. I go, and that person that probably doesn't know it. I go, if it's one of your friends, be a good friend to them and just pull them aside and be like, hey, man, get some deodorant, just like put it in your locker at school and just, use it throughout the day. We had gone to Costco and there was some type of face wash. Now, my son doesn't have a huge problem with acne. He's in puberty, he gets it. But he was like, Dad, can I get this face wash? And it was like a big bottle. And he's like, I like this stuff. I was like, sure, sure, we can get it. And obviously it was Costco, so it came in a 2 pack. And I was like, take the other one to your mom's house. So then, you don't have to worry about breaking out over there or something. He's like, well, I actually might take it to school. And I'm like, that's really smart too. And for Christmas, he's already asked me for cologne. And I've talked to him about, a lot of guys your age are going to use like body spray and aftershave. I go, those are okay for when you're shaving because they have alcohol in it, and they're there to help prevent any type of uh, infections or anything. I go, but alcohol, if you put out a thing of water and a thing of alcohol, the alcohol dissolves faster, it evaporates faster. I go, and that's exactly how it is on your body. Whereas cologne is oil that will stay on your skin for way longer. So, and it shocks me men who don't know this stuff. But there's a lot of men out there like my age who just douse their fucking bodies in like Axe body spray. And it's like you got to put that stuff on several times throughout the day. Whereas if you get yourself a good cologne, you're fine. Now I do use aftershave. I use a lot of the classic stuff. I've got Bay Rum, I've got Aqua Velva, I've got Brute. Those are like your classic barbershop aftershaves. There's a reason why barbershops use those. So I'll use those, especially like on my head if I shave. Um, but yeah, cologne is definitely good. I saw a question there. Do veterans get pensions from the government? They can. They can. Homo. It's not. No, they're classic stuff. That's what your grandfather used to use was Aqua Velva and Bay Rum and uh, a lot of that stuff. But yeah, pension veterans can get a pension. Most veterans qualify for disability though, uh, and both are tax free, so that's good. I'm 100% disabled through the VA, so I'm maxed out at my disability. Now there's other things I can get, like a civilian clothing allowance. It's about 1,000. Actually, it's actually more like $1,200 every year. Uh, I would need to apply for it to get it. It's one of those things that is out there, uh, but you have to be above a certain percentage to get it. Stetson's a good one. Yeah, I do. I've got cologne of Stetson, but see, I what I do is I go to L.A. and I go down there to Santee Alley, um, and I there's a guy who sells. They're knockoff colognes, but like they smell exactly. He mixes it himself. They smell exactly like the uh, the actual name brand colognes. He just mixes the oils, and yeah, so I'll buy a $25 bottle from him of a cologne that would normally cost me $80. Did I get a Camaro? Me? No. Never been into Camaros or Trans Ams. Not really my thing. Same thing with Corvettes. I had an uncle who had a Corvette growing up. Just not my style. Old Spice triggers you? I mean, I can see that. Like, scents will bring back uh, memories more than anything else. And I actually use that for a lot of my PTSD. If I'm having a thing, I'll smell something uh, that will help me get out of my mind space. Yes, I was a Mustang. Well, I am a Mustang. Technically, my commission, even though I am no longer in, technically my commission has no expiration date, and they can technically recall me at any point. Let me get on here onto the computers. I had not yesterday. Let me get on here and I'll take a look, D. And I was going through my spam folder too, and I didn't see it, which was a good thing because I found other important emails in my spam folder. Tomorrow we're doing Vet Nation. I thought we were doing it Sunday. It's Friday. I wish they'd recall me. They can. They can choose to at any point. They can recall me. I'm doing all my. This is all the setup I normally do when I do the show. So you guys are getting the background view. It takes a little while. Oh wow, we got some new subscribers here. We're up to 4362. Thank you. Thank you. If any of you are new subscribers, thank you. I appreciate it. I got to make sure that my audio is correct. There we go there. Getting into my email. And then Facebook. All right. There we go. A little bit of feedback there, but we got it all figured out. We are vertical today. We are vertical. I do have my coffee. And let me get this all set up. Is there anything you guys want to discuss? Best way to recruit Camaro Supercharger? That is actually true. Very true. I hope the audio is okay, not too loud for you guys. Okay, we're gonna do Unexplained tomorrow, Veteran Nation Live Sunday. Okay, that makes sense. I'm good with that. Let me move this where everything is just a little bit bigger. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I'm okay. So I don't see the email here, and I'm looking through my spam. No, D, I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it. But if you're on Facebook, you can send it to either my Veteran Nation or Mike Arthur Facebook too. But the email, yeah, I don't know why it's not coming through. Veteran Nation at Proton Mail. Hey, Seer, good to see you. Yep, Proton Mail. Veteran Nation at Proton Mail. Avoid roads with cops as much as possible. We don't have police here. We just have the sheriff. And to be honest, they only are out here when it's payday time for the military, because they know that the Marines are going to be out drinking, and they're looking for the they're looking for the DUIs. So let me share this to the Facebook groups. There's the Veteran Nation group. Boom. It's posting. And now we're going to share it to the ecosystem. And I also share it to Patriot 911 News, their group. So if you're watching on X, which let's take a look and see how many people are watching us on X. What year is a better Mustang? I'm going to say 67. I actually like 68 Mustang myself. But there's actually one right up the street. It's in pieces. It's my neighbor's, and it was something that he wanted to rebuild, but just never got around to before he had his fire. So I could probably purchase that off of him, but I'm not a car guy. If I ever could get a car, I would want a 1971 Barracuda. Yeah, this. Okay, okay. Let me. Ooh, ooh. Oh wait, I can't do. Well, actually, maybe I could do that. I'm getting an offer for tickets to the Rams versus the Saints. But the way this is looking is it's at the Saints. I won't be there on the second. I'll be there on the first. Basically, avoid cops, law enforcement at all times. They're only interested in extorting you. Have a dash cam. Have a dash cam. You can buy them off of Amazon for $50. You'll get a good one for $50. You can get a cheaper one. Um, it might it might suck though. But I recommend the ones that get 360. So that way, if there's any funny business, I I've had a dash cam in my car for a couple years now. And for those of you who've been around, you know it's already kept me out of jail because I was attacked, and the people who attacked me didn't realize I had a dash cam, and they lied. They lied to the cops, they lied to the judge, and had all this stuff. And I said, "Oh, here's my little jump drive with the video that shows everything they said is completely full of shit." Yeah, an uncle that collected Rolls Royces. There's a lot of those down in the Palm Springs area. I also see a lot of Jaguars come for sale in this area. Maverick, I was a Marine 17 years. My buddy is an old CUDA, can't remember the year. Yeah, my dad had a 70, but I actually like the 71 a little bit better. And a very good friend of mine is in the Hollywood Classic Car Club. I know he's got at least two Porsches. He really liked those old Porsches, and he works on them all the time. In fact, one of the guys that I think Sear is back a little bit and not caught up with us. Uh, yeah, dash cams are a must, absolutely. Because if the cop lies to you, you have proof. I Here's what I do. I know a lot of people want to sneak on the cops and just wait for them to screw up. It really is a big headache fighting and trying to get um, uh, just to get the police to do internal investigations. So I just tell the cops straight up, "Hey, I'm going to let you know you're being recorded right now." And I point to my dash cam. Absolutely, Coop. It is worth the protection. Old Spice is nasty. My son loves Old Spice. Loves it. Hey, Marianne, good to see you. I would not drive a Mercedes Benz. They're just them and Porsches just too expensive to keep up. That's just me. I understand some people love them. It's just me. Oh, thank you, Maverick. I appreciate that. Marines love you. If they're not treating you like a dick, they love you. Let's see. Finally, the X account came up. I think I'm gonna have to restart my router today. Okay, we've got 20 people watching on X. Welcome, welcome. If you're on X watching us, thank you for being here. Hoorah, hoorah, George. uh, oh yeah, I'm not. I understand this. It's the song. It doesn't bother me. I'm not a car guy. I had a guy, a Marine, years ago when I was first in. I wanted to buy a car I could afford, and that's when Marines become Marines. That's the first thing they want to do is, oh, I got to get a car. Got to get a car. So I didn't have a ton of money to put down, so I ended up buying a 2002 Ford Focus. And, it was well within my budget, well within my budget. So I was like, okay, this is something I can afford. I can make the payments. I can, make the insurance on it. Well, I had a buddy live down the hall. He bought a Mustang. And, several months go by and we're drinking in the barracks one night. And he starts giving me a bunch of shit like, oh, you bought a Fuckus. You got a pussy car and all that stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm just drinking my beer and I'm listening to him. I'm like, okay. And I go, hey, by the way, you bought a Mustang, right? He's like, hell yeah, I did. Real car. I'm like, did you buy the V8? And he's like, no, I got the V6. I go, oh, hey, just so you know, your engine and my engine, exact same engine. My car can do everything that your car can. And he's like, that's not true. And I'm like, I look over my one buddy's motor T. I'm like, you want to go look? And they're like, all right. So we go out in the parking lot. I pull my car around right next to his. We pop open exact same different engine.
He bought I go, "So you bought a neutered Mustang?" Oh, he was pissed. I was like, "What's your payment? 500 a month?" "Yeah, I'm paying, 260." I'm like, "You paid for a name. You paid for a name. Our car is exactly the same. You got more trunk space. There you go." "Oh, you're a Marine Corps veteran? Discuss the way the state is. I'm originally from Massachusetts." Um, well, the good thing is you have federal agents there in Memphis, taking care of stuff, so that's a good thing. I know that's been really helping the crime there. Um, George, let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer, but I do have a phone number and an email down below. Have you gotten your 100% disability? If not, feel free to reach out to me. I'm not a VSO, but I can help you. And make sure to subscribe to TC at MBRR Podcast and AVA, a Veterans Affair Media, both here on YouTube. Oh, you had a Marine who was a pastor? My buddy, he's a retired staff sergeant. I'm trying to talk him into he's thinking about doing some classes on theology. And I'm like, dude, get your degree, come back in the Navy, because you can actually do this. I'm like, you come in the Navy, but this time as a chaplain. I go, trust me, the Marines, and he knows he was infantry. He knows the Marines will respond to a chaplain that's got a Purple Heart and a combat action ribbon, and he's got both. That's what happens when you pay for status, you get ripped off. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's what a lot of people do. They're paying for the name. I pay for functionality. I have my current vehicle is my third that I bought brand new, and every car that I bought brand new, I drove for 10 years. And I don't think this one's gonna be any different. However, this is probably gonna be my last brand new car. New subscribers are probably FBI. That's okay. I'll entertain my handler. I know I know as he sees all the stuff I'm sending every day, he's probably laughing his ass off. The big thing I wanted to talk about today is John Bolton being indicted. I read the indictment finally. Oh, that guy's screwed. John Bolton is going to jail. He is screwed. Anyone who says he's not is stupid. He emailed classified material to a family member, and then he got his email got hacked in 2021, and he did report the hacking. It was hacked by Iran, but what he didn't say is that he had um, he didn't say that he had sent classified information via that email. Big, 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 big. No, no. You do not do that. Do not ever. And this was not just classified information, but it was SCI, secret compartmentalized information. So that he's done. Like he is done. Um, like Hillary had emailed classified information. She at least knew enough to take the market is a liar. Just the way it is. Like, yeah. Crime rates only drop when federal law enforcement gets involved because no one arrests the feds, who are the biggest criminals in the country. Well, there's also different standards for federal agents than there are local police. But yeah, John Bolton, like he would be smart to do a guilty plea. But I'll tell you this, they're going to try to get him to turn on other people. I'm gonna go through this story. I'm not gonna put it up on the screen because we're vertical today. Hey, Georgie. I didn't. I didn't say good morning to you yet. Good morning, and good morning to Marta. Um, and see this actually highlights. Hold on one thing. I'm gonna take this off. This here highlights what a or why Trump is so successful this time around. He had people like Bolton and Pence and Paul Ryan in his administration the first time. They were working against him. These are like when you hear about some of those leaks, it was people like this. Well, after January 6th, Bolton came out against Trump. He wrote that book. He said all these things about Trump. Well, they never thought Trump would win again. They didn't think that the people would support him. And now Trump's back in. But everybody who had talked smack about him, Trump was not inclined to um, bring them back into his administration. So that's why his current administration is way more effective because all the fakers are out. There there might be one or two, but they're not fully in the administration like how they were like before it was an infection. Now they're not in his administration. So that is so much why Trump is way more effective. And most of it was the lawyers. A lot of the lawyers that were there were telling him things that he couldn't do. And I actually did interview on this channel Christina Bobb. She was at um, Health Health and Human Services. She was a deputy there, and she's risen very high. She did in during the Biden administration. She did have a show on was it OAN or Newsmax, but one of those. I think it was OAN. She had a show, but now she's back in the Trump administration. But Trump, like lawyers like her, Trump knows are loyal. The ones that were giving him bad advice and telling him don't do these things, they're gone. They're gone. So he he now has uh, an administration that's loyal to him, and I'll tell you, I just saw today there are polls, all the polls coming out now have been conducted completely during the shutdown. And I always said this is a political fight. Both sides are guilty. What they're waiting for is to see who the American people are going to blame and who are they going to um, who are they going to line up behind. I can tell you the polls are not like Trump is not being hurt by the shutdown. I'm seeing it in the polls now. Um, there's the needles are starting to move, and now the shutdown is finally starting to affect the American people, so you're going to see it kind of move more. But I think the Democrats, we still might have another week, maybe 2 weeks, but I think the Democrats are going to cave now that we're seeing because Trump's actually kind of moved up in some polls, primarily because of the peace deal in the Middle East, which is expectable. You should expect that, but it's only been like 1 or 2 points, but that 1 or 2 points can be huge. So the poll I saw yesterday was it was taken in 6 states. I know Ohio, North Carolina were two of them, but pretty much Trump's handling of the shutdown has gained. He gained a point, whereas the Democrats have lost. So, but it's been mainly to the damage on Schumer's reputation than it has the Democrats as a whole. But if those trends continue, now it could change. It could change. But if those trends continue, the Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown, and they'll come to the negotiation table to open it up. And by a clear majority, like 65% in that poll said, no, we want the government open before we start any negotiations on any type of healthcare subsidies, which is counter to what the Democrats want. Now, this is just the first poll completely during the shutdown. I don't really pay attention to the ones with beforehand because people's before the reality hits you, people's outlook changes. But now the reality is hitting everyone. So now you're going to see the polls. So I think I don't like. I had someone tell me that I'm going to be um, like because see now new contracts are not being given. So my contract goes all the way until the first of the year, and I'm having people are like, "Oh, the government's going to be shut down until then." No, it's not. No, it's not. I never ever believed that. I don't. I still don't think that today. Um, that would be way too long. Trump did get the military paid for one paycheck. I know they're looking at doing it for another one, and he's looking at doing it through tariffs. Again, Trump is been playing a strategy, a long strategy, and those tariffs, they're still getting those tariffs are still getting paid to the U.S. government. So it's allowing him to partially fund the parts of the government that he wants. So he did military paychecks and WIC for the first paycheck. We'll see what he can do for the next ones. You're gonna make a skeleton strip club front lawn for Halloween? That's hilarious. I'd love that. Do a video on it. Do a video showing yourself putting it up. But yeah, so I think if those trends continue, we'll see. But there's other things hurting people right now. Like right now, there's that candidate in Virginia, Jay Jones. He's doing damage to the Democrat Party by not stepping down. He's running for Virginia Attorney General, and the issue with that is he has text messages where he was wishing death upon the former Virginia uh, Republican Speaker of the House, and he's given these lukewarm apologies, things that I don't think most people believe, and he has not dropped out of the race. And we're now seeing in the polls he's now losing a race that he was going to win very easily. Because while Virginia is a purple state, it does kind of lean more Democrat. You like for Republicans to win, everything has to kind of align. They can win, but they need a lot of things to work in their favor. And what's happening is he's losing, but he's dragging the whole Democrat ticket. So now the governor race, which I had you told me a month ago the Virginia governor race was going to be close, I was going to be like, no, the Republicans chose a horrible candidate. There's no way they have a shot. Well, guess what? Now it's within the margin of error. It's within 3 points. Could they win? It's possible. I think they still need some help, but there's still a couple weeks in that race. And with Jay Jones not dropping out, he's dragging down the other Democrats because they're still backing him. I did see that Ace Frehley passed away, yes. And same thing with the lieutenant governor in Virginia. He's dragging the whole ticket down. So Republicans having a big night in Virginia is it's very possible now. Very possible. Freedom Flock is coming back. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, I see that now. Um, but yeah, and you know, here's the other thing. In his going back to Bolton, in him being indicted, his book is going to be used against him. Absolutely, because you have to show intent with many, many crimes. Yet the indictment alleges between the time Bolton left government in September 2019, July 2021, a hacker believed to be associated with Iran gained access to his email into classified and national defense information in the account. Yeah, yeah, you're guilty, dude. He said the FBI was made fully aware of his hacked email when it happened. He did said that in a statement. Uh, but here's the thing: Abe Lowell, a lawyer for Bolton, um, these charges stem from portions of Ambassador Bolton's personal diaries over his 45-year career, records that are unclassified, shared only with his immediate family, known to the FBI as far back as 2021. Um, Yeah, if there was anything classified in there, he is guilty. Just one page of classified material, then he is guilty. So if I w and here's the other thing. So, we talk about, General Flynn, General Flynn took a plea because they threatened his family. They can threaten Bolton's family. They received classified information. They guess what? They can be indicted for that. What is this thing? There we go. It was getting way too far to the one side. Um, but yeah, so his family can be indicted. So I think they're going to get a plea deal out of Bolton. He'd be stupid not to be honest. Um, if he thinks he's going to wait this out, federal cases do take a long time. He might not even go to trial before the end of the Trump administration, but the thing is, there's gonna be so much in the court record by that time that even if a Democrat comes into power, uh, he's gonna need a pardon. Bolton will be locked up, I'm convinced of that. Immigrants commit fewer crimes than citizens born here. That's false. That is completely and totally false. Don't come in here with that BS. Um, what we be doing on Saturday, biggest demonstration in every state. Are you talking about the No Kings protest? I find it very funny here. Well, I can't show it because we're vertical. I find it very funny that they're doing a No Kings protest when Obama had czars. Do you know what czar means? Czar means Caesar. So no kings, but emperors are okay. You do realize emperors control kings. There were kings like Caesar ruled over kings. Cleopatra was a queen. Herod was a king. They gave tribute to Caesar, but no kings. But czars are good. Obama had czars. So stupid. So stupid. Good morning, Deborah. Good to have you here. And Janice, good to have you here. People that died for the Constitution died for nothing. Um, I don't know what you mean by that. Uh, I find it funny that a lot of the people who are saying, "Oh, there's an invasion," you do realize you're on the side. The last people to say that the National Guard, acting on behalf of the federal government, was an occupation was Governor George Wallace. Really, you want to be on par with George Wallace, like Kennedy, LBJ. Uh, I'm trying to think who else. Roosevelt. Uh, many presidents nationalized the National Guard to protect federal property and like to to uh, bring states who weren't following federal law back into line. Let's see what else are they talking about. Jack in the Box sells Del Taco chain for 115 million. That's really cheap for a chain. Who'd they sell it to? The original Del Taco is, I believe it's up in Barstow. It's not very far from me. I should go up to the original. The problem with like taco places is what kind of side do you like? Del Taco gives you fries. Um, Taco Bell really doesn't give you anything. There, you need a good side that goes with it. I would do chips and salsa or guacamole. Just like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, do the same with Mexican fast food. Who'd they sell to? To the fast. the fast casual Taco Cabana restaurant chain, and Nick the Greek with 90. So I'm not familiar with either of those. I wish I did have a good Mediterranean fast food place around here. Last American service members died in defense of the Republic in the Constitution of the War of 1812. So, no, I don't agree with that. What gets me angry is immigrants can legally purchase pew pews, but a veteran like myself can't. Yep, yep. Well, actually, they're if they're here illegally, they're not supposed to be buying. Like that's supposed to be an illegal purchase. Just like that cop in Chicago, there was an. If you haven't been following, there's an illegal immigrant who was a Chicago cop, and he, by law, was not supposed to have a weapon. Like, had he gone into a gun store and applied, he would have been denied access to a weapon. But yet the Chicago PD is like, "Hey, here you go. Here's a gun." Like, crazy. And then, the Democrats, they really have a lot of egg on their face because in Missouri, there was that superintendent who was an illegal immigrant. He was not qualified for his job. And here's the other thing, we now have proof he was voting. He was the thing that they told us, "Oh, illegal immigrants never vote." Oh, yeah, 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 they vote. They 100% vote. Received a 9-second message from grandson in boot camp. Why do they give so little time? Because all they have to do is show you that they arrived. That's it. That's a check in the box. That's all they do. Innocent until proven guilty. Illegal immigrants they're illegal. They're all like, and they don't get a trial. Like they're they get due process, but they don't get a trial. And they go in from immigrant judge who then can say, "No, you're deported." You like that is their due process. I mean, you can have that opinion, TC. I disagree. Oh, it was in Iowa. Okay, I said Missouri. Yeah, very its neighbor. I was thinking St. Louis is where it happened. Yeah, there's a ton. Yeah, I believe through my class, I believe they've processed 400 recruits in one night. So ABA is right on with that one. Um, yeah, Paul Stanley is mourning Ace Frehley. Do you think Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons are going to come out with an Ace Frehley Kiss memorial shirt? Because those two, they they milk Kiss for every dollar they can. You think they're not going to try to milk Ace Frehley's death? Chicago judge orders ICE to wear body cams after clash with protesters. Reports say. U.S. District Judge Sarah L. Ellis gave order after agents were seen deploying um, chemical weapons on protesters. Chemical weapons, pepper spray. Just stop. Um, had not seen this order before. So the agents deploying tear gas, other chemical weapons. I am profoundly concerned about what's been happening over the last week since I entered this order. I live in Chicago. Folks haven't noticed I'm not blind. I tend to get news. Um, mm, a judge saying that a judge is not supposed to be influenced by things outside of the courtroom. That's a she's walking a line there. I don't think she's done anything wrong. I don't think she's crossed it, but I'd be careful saying that. Yeah, and the Chicago cop isn't from South America or Latin America. So many immigrants are. Yeah, I don't care where the illegal immigrants are from. They should be kicked out. Any thoughts on new military branch, Space Force, will be bigger than other branches. I mean, it may. Um, love watching the morons in the back, the blue crowd, try and get around the white Chicago cop that's illegal. Oh yeah, yeah. Like that should never happen. Why did they not catch a background check? In fact, and here's the thing, that right there, they have a problem with ICE and federal agents being in Chicago. That right there gives gives the FBI probable cause to now investigate the whole Chicago Police Department. And that to me is what actually is kind of the ultimate goal of this, uh, per the Trump administration, the DOJ, is they want to get in and start looking at the stuff of these police departments where crime is just crazy, because they know how they play games with, oh, we're going to consider this assault to be this as to show that, oh, crime's going down when it's really not. Uh, is the judge going to provide them with funding for their body cams? No, no. The decision of the federal court comes amid Donald Trump's Operation Midway Blitz, a crackdown on immigration enforcement in the Chicago area that the administration says is aimed at catching the worst of the worst criminal immigrants. It's funny because there's actually precedent for this in Chicago. Elliot Ness, federal agent coming into Chicago, he was there to investigate and to stop stop uh, illegal smuggling and racketeering. But we have a history of federal agents operating in Chicago when local police drop the ball. Critics say innocent people are targeted. Homeland Security's aggressive tactics have upended life. Well, here's the thing: if you're an illegal immigrant, you can self-deport, you can leave, and you won't have to deal with any of this. Um, Homeland Security Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs Tricia McLaughlin has shrugged off the optics of the photos. This is U.S. citizen. So here's the thing: I'm fully on board with every, even the federal. They should be wearing body cams. They should be, and they should, in my opinion, they should not be allowed to turn them off. Every cop, because again, the more um, the more transparency, the better it will be. As I always say, uh, mold grows in darkness. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. Feds are the front end of the body cam usage, but don't hold themselves to the same expectations they have for state and local law enforcement. Which is prime example of, as I've been trying to educate people, the federal agents are treated differently under the law than state and local. Um, but should they have body cams when they're acting in their capacity? I believe they should. I definitely believe they should. If they're going to be doing law enforcement, um, law enforcement uh, actions, they should have a body cam. It's evidence. Why would you not want more evidence? Someone needs to investigate the California governor for all the bullshit he's been doing. Well, I don't think he's going to get the Democrat nomination. That's everything he's doing is all about becoming president. Imagine he's failed upward so far, but it's all because his aunt is Nancy Pelosi. She has sway in California. She doesn't really have sway over the nation, so I don't think he's going to be the next president. I don't even think he'll be the Democrat nominee. They've used pepper ball on totally peaceful people praying. If those people have been told that they can't be there, again, time, place, and manner restrictions, if they've told they can't be there and they need to move out, then I got no problem with it. Yeah, no muting of body cams by officers. Yeah, it should never be. That should be tampering with evidence. um, Agency-wide expansion of body-worn cameras is dependent on the availability of appropriate funding resources. Um, okay, well, buy them. You're the federal government. You can afford them. Out of like, I can understand. Like, my sheriff doesn't have them. We're the biggest county in the United States. We should afford them here. Yucca Valley Police Department, if they don't have them, I get it. Small town, not the richest city. I get why they wouldn't have 'em. Uh, VA police. I would hope that this starts a trend of these judges saying, no, federal agents, when doing law enforcement actions, you should have a body cam. And guess what that does to VA police? Ding, ding, ding. Public sidewalks on public easements and not blocking roads or doorways. I've seen the videos. Again, time, place, and manner. The federal government can put up a cordon. Again, federal law enforcement is different than your local ones. If these were local police, I would 100% agree with you, TC. But federal, they can say no. For for the interest of protecting federal property, we're going to put up a cordon, and it's perfectly in line with time, place, and manner restrictions. I'm not worried about Newsom at all. I don't think he's going to win. Are you red pilled on the Jews? I don't know what you're talking about with the Jews. Uh, Uh, Clergy protester journalists filing suits that agents fired without provocation. Among moments cited was a high profile video. Federal agent shooting a local pastor, David Black. I did see that one. He got shot in the head with a pepper ball. Um, Original court order compels agents to wear identification, a significant step in a city where many people have chafed against masked men, detaining them. Um, Again, federal agents are different. Um, I think they have to wear a number, not like their name. Um, just like that whole I put up that picture of if you live within 100 miles of the border, and I live within 100 miles of the border, guess what? ICE can detain me for the purposes of determining if I am a US citizen. I believe, well, actually, TC, you're within 100 miles of the border. They can detain you for that same thing. And if you don't want to identify yourself, you don't have to, but your detention is going to be longer. And that's people just need to know that. Like they don't need people are like they need probable cause. No, they don't. The reasonable articulable suspicion is only I'm trying to determine your citizenship. That is it. And if I don't want to give them any proof of citizenship, and I don't want to answer their questions, means I can be detained longer. And the Supreme Court has already affirmed that. That's ICE and Customs and Border Protection. If you're within 100 miles of any U.S. border, Chicago falls within 100 miles of the border. Detroit, 100 miles of the border. Cleveland, Buffalo, um, Columbia, South Carolina. There's a pretty good chunk. Um, Someone asked me about Austin. I don't know if Austin is within 100 miles because Texas is pretty darn big. I believe San Antonio definitely is. And that goes as the crow flies. So you draw closest border straight line 100 miles, that's where it's at. It is not driving distance. Is there any other stories we want to talk about before I get out of here? All this NFL stuff, I don't care. Kremlin envoy proposes a Putin-Trump tunnel linked to U.S. and Russia. Oh, that I support, fully support. I would love to see that. Even if it's not, I would love for it to be a train. This would be. I've seen where people have talked about this because the Bering Strait between Alaska and Russia is, I think it's 6 miles at its shortest point. We could build a tunnel linking several of the I believe is that the Aleutian Islands in Alaska, and we could build a tunnel and have at least train tracks going to Alaska. The big problem we have is those where it would connect in Alaska, we don't have roads to it currently. So we would have to connect our very populated areas in Alaska with roads. But if we were to do that, okay, let, you would be able then realistically to take if we were to connect a train there, you realistically could take a train from Cape Hope to Cape Horn. It would take you several weeks of riding on the train, but you could take a train from one to the other. That would that would increase Russia as a trading partner, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Um, it would help both of our economies. It would increase tourism and travel between the two. What's always been a problem with Russia is they're very isolated, and isolation breeds hate. Um, the more Americans go into Russia, more Russians that come into America, the better. Um, it will create better relations over time. It would. Maybe not immediately, but definitely over time. Yeah, the Putin Trump rail tunnel under the Bering Strait to link the two countries unlock joint exploration of natural resources and symbolize unity. Kremlin envoy has suggested the proposal by Kirill Dmitriev, President Vladimir Putin's investment envoy and head of Russia's RDIF sovereign wealth fund, envisions a construction project costing 8 billion funded by Moscow and international partners to build a 70-mile rail and cargo link in under 8 years. Dmitriev, who helped spearhead the Russian charm offensive designed to revive U.S. Russia Times, floated the tunnel idea late on Thursday. I think it's a great idea. And there have been other people to float this, and I think this, like Democrats who would be against this, because Democrats seem to be the ones. Oh, we hate Russia. You want high speed rail in the U.S. This is the fastest way to get it. It really is. A dream of U.S. Russia link, the Bering Strait, reflects an enduring vision from a 1904 Siberia Alaska railway to Russia's 2000. Because think about sending something next day. Right now, we do it solely via air when you're coming across the Pacific. Now you would have another way of getting it there if you built a high speed rail. Uh, and I'm okay with it being just for cargo, which it sounds like this is. Did they say cargo? No, 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 no. It just says Trump Rail Tunnel. So just think about moving oil. We could, because right now oil is only moved on ships. We could move oil across the Pacific in a day's time frame. That's huge. You're lowering the logistics time and the logistics cost. And I was a Marine Corps logistician, so like I'm nerding out on this right now. I hope they do something. A Kennedy Khrushchev World Peace Bridge. Yep, similar idea to that. Yeah, I think they should. I think that would be a great idea. Okay. Cops are way overpaid, welfare recipients acting otherwise. Here's the thing. I have no problem with cops being paid well. I do have a problem at cops who look the other way on bad cops, and that's the good thing about body cams. That is the best thing about body cams. It very quickly has been highlighting really bad cops, but the good cops who make up excuses for them is also a problem. So let me do this. I have not talked to Georgie or Coop. I did see them in here earlier. I don't know what the plan for today will be. But now there's a redirect to them. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. It's going to redirect you to Georgie. Oh, Buck Naked said, last night I was pondering high speed subs, and today you cover this. Not a Navy guy, but I can understand submerged. They're faster than surface now. Yeah, because they're built very well. I could see like a hyperloop situation. If you've ever looked into a hyperloop, I think that would be smart with any type of bridge or tunnel from Alaska to Russia. If they make excuses, they aren't good cops. Oh, I agree with you on that. Totally agree with you on that. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Georgie and Coop are gonna be going live. It's gonna take you to their waiting room. I might jump on with them. I don't know, but check them out. Thank you guys for being here, and as always, thank you for being worth serving.